On this episode of Star Trek Universe, the brilliant Dave Foley makes me sad for Dave Foley, as he is now in one of the worst of over 900 Star Trek episodes. We're talking Star Trek Strange New Worlds 403, Human Best Friend, right after whatever the hell this is.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you listen in on two lifelong friends sit and chat about Star Trek. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
So, Dave.
Yes, sir.
One of my human best friends.
Oh.
What'd you think of Human Best Friend? I based on your intro, it sounds like you didn't like it.
I loathed it.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say. I had one smile moment and one chuckle moment, and it was a begrudging chuckle. It was a fucking begrudging chuckle.
I had a couple good laughs. Jumping way to the end, my one big laugh was the thumb. I didn't expect the thumb.
You know what? I didn't expect it, but I also just went, that's an odd choice considering James Doohan lost a finger in World War II and spent his entire career hiding it.
Oh, wow. Yes, he didn't know that.
It's an odd choice.
I vaguely remember hearing that at some point in my life. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I guess I didn't know that, so I thought just from the timing of the thing, it was very funny. He's like, man, it was so close. My hands barely made it off the... It was good.
Yeah.
That was a good bit. I knew you'd hate this episode just because of who it was focused on from the top. Like, from the top, you're a big Ortega's disliker. So I knew that wasn't going to be fun for you. I don't have that strong of feelings about her, but like, again, and I was really trying to look past it this episode, but this was a really hard episode to make it look past it. So this is not doing what I want from Star Trek. Like that's what it is. The third episode in a row that I'm like, this is not what I want from Star Trek at all. This is not at all what I'm looking for. This is not the plots I'm looking for. These are not the jokes I'm looking for. It felt like any ABC comedy or whatever set on any world doing a Hangover episode, you know?
Well, look, it's also not for me. It's not like this isn't what I want from Star Trek, so I'm going to shit on it. Like, I'm happy to see like something, like them try to tackle something new, but like when I'm, like for instance, once again, we're dealing with the fact that like, okay, so Una is going to karaoke some Klingon songs, but it's going to be, Total Eclipse of the Heart? Like, why is it an Earth? Why? Why is it a Klingon version of an Earth song?
Well, it's
it just makes the universe so small.
I think you misunderstand. It was in the original Klingon.
Oh, is that the joke?
No, I don't think so. But that's my joke.
Oh, that's your joke. Like the whole and I was annoyed at the idea that like, oh god, Spock's gonna like hallucinate Kirk, and that's how they're gonna shoehorn him in. And then like, I was more open to that than what they did, which was like, oh, he was there the whole time and he just happened to be vacationing there.
Right. Well, it didn't make
the fuck.
I don't know what they were going for. I still don't know. Was he real the whole time?
He was. Yeah, he was real the whole time.
Well, he asked when people came in, "Do you see Kirk?" And they said no. Which I guess he was just in the other room, and that was right. Okay.
Because when they left, he came out of the other room.
Yeah. All right. We've been here playing board games. I don't know. Like the whole thing, again, we're always going to be a little annoyed at the Kirk and Spock relationship forming so soon, so close, so soon. Like it just seems weird. But again, that's timeline stuff we can kind of paper over. It's just at its heart, though. It's just not only is it not something I'm looking for from Star Trek, it's just like not a very, very good episode. There's a few funny things. Sometimes I just feel like the cast and crew of this show think their characters are funnier and more iconic than they are in some ways. Like Uhura being a cool party girl was cool, but I don't know. Like it just. It's cool because it's Uhura. it's not cool because of this show's Uhura. Yeah, does that make sense?
I
don't know.
I think it doesn't feel. I still don't think it quite feels like original series Uhura, and it does feel like this. But I just like I don't particularly enjoy watching people just be drunk anyway. So it wasn't like, to me, it's like they think like, this is gonna be so great. It's gonna be so fun to watch people get drunk, and I'm like, it's not fun to watch people be drunk. Like, you guys are way overestimating how fun it is to see a bunch of people be drunk. Yeah. I just don't care.
Yeah, I've been around enough drunk people that it's not particularly entertaining. There are things that were entertaining. I thought that, I feel like Anson Mount was one of the funnier things in this episode. Him getting his tattoos and like him being really over the top. But it's like, I liked seeing Anson Mount do that. Doing it as Pike, I don't really need. I don't know. It's just like, I just don't like having the captain act like a total idiot. I'm feeling so stodgy when I talk about this show, because like, I don't think I am, but like whenever I watch the show, I'm like, man, nothing here is what I'm wanting from Star Trek. It's just not pulling it off. Like if it was doing something totally different from Star Trek, but it was great, I would be like, that's cool. New era. We're doing something cool. But man, I am so not on board with the tone of this episode. Ortega's was not fun to watch. Scotty was, but it was hard because they were always together, and like playing off each other didn't really work for me. They weren't like, Also, she wasn't drunk for some reason. Like no one else. I don't know. Like if they both
Dave Foley said something about how they had technology and something was amiss. I don't know.
They said that stuff affects everyone differently, and if you have unresolved anger or something, it doesn't affect you the same or stuff like that.
Of course, La'an just wants to like
fight,
take over everything, and fight people.
Yeah,
it's like y'all got to give her another note. Like, I'm laughing, but it's not because they were clever. I'm laughing because this is horribly one note.
Yeah, it is. Way too many. Like, there are episodes of Star Trek that are like this that I love, where everyone's being silly. There are silly episodes of Star Trek that I like, and it's because they're novelties, you know? It feels like Strange New Worlds goes to this well way too often.
Yeah.
And so it's not special or funny to see the crew in a weird, wacky scenario, because it feels like they do that multiple times per season. You know, when we were younger and like the Next Generation crew would get into some funky, funny scenario, it'd either be like the one joke of the episode, like the one big joke of the episode, or it'd be like one episode every 2 seasons where it was like, oh, this is a really silly episode. And this just feels like I feel like there's 2 or 3 every season, and I just I'm not entertained, because you're not. What is funny about seeing Data do something silly is that he's serious all the time. If Spock in every episode is acting very emotional and having like all these funny jokes, him having a jokey drunk episode isn't funny. It's not novel.
Yeah. There's another issue that I'm really starting to piece together here in current Trek, and that is like the references. It's just too heavy. It's too heavy for references. You know, like when you think about TNG, that first episode they had McCoy show up for a very short scene, and then a couple episodes later they did like the Naked Now, and it's like a mutated version of the virus from the Naked Time in TOS, and we get like a really quick glimpse of the original Enterprise on a computer screen. But for the most part, they very much, while staying in universe, fucking dialed it back on referencing shit. They built their own show, and like it feels 100%. Like now it's just like there were so many references in this episode, like the Andorian thing on was Ortega's head had the broken antenna. That's from Journey to Babel, because there was a fake Romulan who broke off the antenna. Their Mugatu costume that we just saw in Starfleet Academy is what Scotty is wearing.
Wow. When they say it's a Bard costume, I wonder if that's a production joke.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They say it was like a what do they say? A loner costume. Mm-hmm. And so they loaned it from the other show.
Yeah.
They brought it back in time 1,000 years.
The advertisement for this planet was all in like the animated series style. We saw an Edosian. We saw.
Was this planet or the what are they called? The Redaxians? The
no.
species? They're not original series or animated series. I was wondering. Like it seemed like maybe a reference. The whole thing when they showed it in the animated series, like. Mm-hmm. Animation. I was like, oh, I wonder if this planet was visited. I could absolutely see them doing a "We're on a drunk planet" episode of the animated series. You know?
Yeah. If I'm wrong on that, like, because I looked it up and it said that this is a new species. So maybe I just because I don't remember that kind of shit. And you know what? I'm in good company. There's a couple episodes of TNG where Patrick Stewart says the wrong name of the species, and it was of some other like species that they talked about in a previous episode.
That's funny.
Just because they're just too close, and they're like, bullshit name. So there were so many references, but then like they wake up, there's the Tribble there, and there's like all this stuff. The dog from The Enemy Within with the horn on his head was like, my God.
Yeah.
Enough. Oh my God. And what is it? It's green. You're doing By Any Other Name and Relics references now?
Yeah.
Like the brilliant thing about Relics was that they made that reference to TOS, but like that was like 6 seasons in when we have Scotty back for a second. We don't need that joke referenced again, but also making it like, well, this now it happened before the original series. So that was now a reference to what happened with Mbinga. Just I'm drowning. Stop servicing me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it.
Create something new. Yeah. Strange New Worlds has really become a spiral of references with very little. Like, if this was a great episode and had all these references, I would be okay with it. But if it's just a reference fest and there's just nothing undergirding it, like, what is the point of this episode? I mean, like, I guess if we dig deep, and it's not even, I said that wrong. It's not digging deep. They say the moral of the episode, and it's just these two characters realizing they're more similar than they thought, and that dealing with their anger. And like, I get that Ortega seems like she has an angry streak or whatever, an annoyed streak, and so does Scotty, but like only at her. You know what I mean? Like this is when they did the conversation and she was like, this is my problem. I'm angry because my brothers and blah, blah, all this stuff, or my family. And then it jumped over to him. I thought he was going to have like some sort of related issue, but it was going to be different because he is a different character. They don't seem similar to me at all. And so when he was describing his, and it was exactly the same, like, I was like, why didn't you give him a different take on whatever so he can understand she has issues and he has issues? They don't have to have the exact same issues for them to be like, for them to become friends, you know?
Yeah. Which this episode also made me think of, or made me realize one of my issues with Scotty. There's just been something about him that doesn't seem right. And it's that he's too, I don't know, Gen Z. Like, he's just not, he's sort of more of a, like, I'm a smart guy, but I have very little life experience and I'm concerned and worried all the time. And it's like, you know, when we met this Scotty, he was like stranded on a fucking Gorn planet. Like, he was a rough and tumble dude who had seen some stuff. And since he's gone to the Enterprise, they've really painted him to be like this guy's like, oh, I don't really drink much. And, oh, well, I'm this guy is like, oh, I don't really want to, I'm more passive aggressive than anything. And like Scotty from the original series was like a rough and tumble brawler.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And I just think it goes to like every character is that sort of like insecure. I mean, I don't think this show is as bad with the like every character is like the geek that's overly autistic, which is like kind of we've talked about with other Star Trek shows. Like you have characters in Star Trek that sort of represent that segment of the fandom and fans attached to, like Spock and Data, Odo. Like it's sort of like we attach to these characters if we have these sort of similarities in our personalities, but Star Trek is supposed to have this diverse set of personalities. And I don't think this show does that thing too much, but it does, like, everyone's this sort of insecure whatever. And, like, sometimes you have characters who are, like, overly secure that you got to deal with, you know what I mean? That are, like, they need to learn to be humble. And then, like, I feel like the show just doesn't work in that way.
And it's something I was just thinking about, which was that, they sort of neutered Scotty and made him like this sort of navel-gazing, passive-aggressive character. But they flipped him and Chapel. Because Chapel is like way more adventurous and let's have a brawl and this will be fun. Yeah. And she was totally the navel-gazy, like, insecure, like, yes, doctor, and walk away type in the original series,
which can be very interesting if you're doing something with their personalities to change them over time, but I haven't seen that yet. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if they were like learning those lessons of like, I'm being too brash and too whatever, I need to like dial it back, and he's learning he's being too introspective and he needs to be a little more brash. Like, sure, that can work, but I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing them kind of learn the same lessons over and over.
And again, like I said, I think last week, like the most I have thought Ortega's was interesting was in the Balance of Terror redux, where they went to the future and she hates Spock. It's not like a thing, this little like snippety thing she's got with Scotty here. It is like she has an issue with Spock and Vulcans, you know what I mean? Like, so like I thought maybe we would get some continue or some see that play out somewhat, see how that could go. Or like what an inciting incident could be that would bring her to that point in the future. Because it was an odd thing to just throw in there and never explain, like, hey, by the way, if this happens and if Pike doesn't get blowed up or whatever, or what was it? He was in some sort of radiation.
Yeah. He saved a bunch of cadets.
Right. So if he doesn't save the cadets, for some reason, Ortega's is gonna hate Spock.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's just an odd thing, and it might just be a bit of fun, but we haven't been shown anything like that. But there's also stuff like this that I wrote down where like Scotty screams they stole my eyeballs, and then she's like, we have a bag over your head or whatever.
Yeah, that was funny.
When that was lightly maybe funny, but then he reiterates, my eyeballs are still here. And I'm like, that is an instance of you not trusting your own joke.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Or like, I disagree. I think it's they like their joke too much. They're doubling down on the same joke. They're like, that was so funny, say it again. And it's like, no, it was funny the once and then you move on. If you do it too many times, if he says, oh, my eyeballs are here, it's like, she already explained it to you that you had a bag on your head. It was dumb already. I know he's drunk, but it's that thing where they make the Starfleet officers all seem like idiots for the joke. Yeah. And I don't like it. I don't like that.
So the reason I said maybe funny is because I laughed at it when it was on C-Lab 2021.
Oh, is that a joke from C-Lab?
The lights go out and Stormy goes, oh my God, I'm blind.
Oh, well, that's
kind of the same joke.
It's a similar joke. It's a similar joke. If it had been my eyeballs are gone, that would have been too close. But I feel like I'm blind and my eyeballs are gone. I feel like I'm blind is actually a more normal joke. I've heard that joke before, but my eyeballs are gone was like very specific. I hadn't heard that before.
Now, the brilliant part of C-Lab 2021, though, is that he says, oh my God, I'm blind. They're like, no, the power just went out. And then someone else goes, yeah, unless, I think it was Eric Estrada goes, yeah, unless, of course, you went blind at the same time, independently of the power going out. Mm-hmm. And Stormy goes, "Oh my God, I'm blind!"
Yeah, so it's pretty funny. So I liked the line, or just the situation, looking across at La'an and Spock, and somebody says, "La'an is itching for a fight, and Spock is just trying to stay out of it." It just reminded me of real life situations that out with a partner who's being a little too drunk, a little too loud, a little too whatever, and like you're just like, I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to fight the guy across the bar that you're yelling at.
Yeah,
good times.
I've dealt with that.
I thought this. I mentioned The Hangover earlier, and like clearly, I think they were going for that with this episode, like trying to make The Hangover, but for Star Trek, right?
Mm-hmm. I saw someone say it was "Dude, Where's My Shuttle?"
Oh yeah, I guess it's the same plot device. You had a night you don't remember, but you do have a missing vehicle, so that's good. I like that.
So I will say that this is the bit that I almost chuckled at was the initial, Spock saying he couldn't really help because he was quite inebriated, and they're like, "You are totally normal." And he's like, "No, that's totally illogical. That's terrible. I'm not at all. Yeah. You're crazy." But then I liked that he said that they look like plants, and I rolled my eyes the first time.
Yeah,
I was annoyed the first time when they were plants. But then the second time where he says, "You are still a plant," and it cuts back to her as a cactus, and she shakes viciously, like, I actually laughed.
Yeah, I laughed at the plant stuff. The one thing, I laughed at the plant stuff, but somehow he actually connected with the plant and learned where the shuttle was.
Photosynthetic. Well, it was a network of plant photosynthetic technology, I think is what they call it.
I thought that was bullshit. I thought that was the joke.
Yeah.
That was the joke, that it was bullshit. And then he used it, but it was just a plant. Yeah. That's the whole joke. But then they actually used it and it worked. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I guess maybe he already knew where the shuttle was. I don't know. It just didn't. It was weird. Yeah. It was weird.
But this is another instance of them being in love with their own fucking joke. Like they said it in the writer's room or whoever. The woman who wrote it also wrote those old scientists from a couple years ago.
Okay.
With the Lower Decks people.
Yeah.
But she was clearly like in love with her own joke because, like, look, in canon, Spock doesn't have to say anything to connect with something, but she had to write "My mind to your leaves."
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the fucking stupidest
thing.
Like, just
it feels like something from Lower Decks. Again, a thing I'd like to see once a season at most. That kind of ridiculous, over the top silliness. And it just feels like the show is dripping with it all the time.
It does. It very much. It feels just like it just permeates every fucking pore of this show sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
speaking of Spock and him in his room, I did like, I'm sorry for the mess, and him moving the chess piece ever so slightly. That was pretty good.
I didn't notice that. I would have laughed at that.
He says,
or maybe I would laugh at what it's your telling of it.
No, it was good. Ethan Peck did a good job. He's like, I'm sorry for the mess. And they just left their room, which was trashed, a la The Hangover. And like, there's the knives in the wall and everything. And they go into his room and it's pristine. And he says, "I'm sorry for the mess." And then he turns his eyes to his 3D chessboard and just barely scooches a rook like 2 centimeters.
Yeah. That's not terrible.
I really like the Klingon Eclipse of the Heart. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the like idea when they say why are there so many Klingon power ballads in the system, and they're like warrior songs, and like that makes sense. Like those epic warrior songs and our like 80s ballads that kind of go together, and I can see it. I liked it.
Yeah. All right. You wanna do some feedback?
Yes. I did want to. Let me see what I got some minutes. I wanted to mention Mbinga bartending.
Yeah.
Before we do, that made me laugh. Mbinga, very poorly doing cocktail, and then at the end of the episode, they had him do it well, but they clearly cut it where the actor isn't doing any of it. They like cut around it, and it wasn't like well done cutting. It was like completely terrible. It was like intentionally, like you can see he's not doing it, which I was like, what is the joke here? Because the joke is supposed to be he's doing it well now, but then it's clear that you're not. He's not. I don't know. It was very weird. But the initial joke of him doing it poorly and keeps throwing bottles over his shoulder was very funny. I know that It's Green distracted you, or like you were annoyed by that joke, but the rest of the joke of him just like throwing bottles around was very funny to me. Like he's just like completely wasteful and irresponsible and weird.
Yeah. It was odd.
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked the first time Uhura said, "It's not my journey to know." Like that was very funny. I laughed out loud because it was just such a funny, spacey,
New age
drugged
bullshit.
out girl thing to say at a party. It's not my journey to know where the captain is. It was very funny. And then she said journey like 5 more times. And it was like, again, it was like the joke was trust that your joke made it to my ears and I heard it and I laughed, and give me more things to laugh at. Don't just keep saying journey. And then they brought it back again at the end with Dave Foley saying journey like 2 or 3 times. I was like, that's not... It was weird, and I it's like the things I laughed at are also things that annoyed me at different moments.
Which I know he was in Lower Decks in one episode, but like, how do you bring Dave Foley into an episode and just waste the fuck out of him?
See, I thought he was well used for Dave Foley. Like it was a good role for Dave Foley to be that. It's just a terrible episode.
It is a terrible.
Like what he's doing is a very Dave Foley kind of character, and like would have worked in a better episode. And he should have been like the villain of the piece, which I guess he kind of was. They realized he planned it all, but like, man, the fireworks at the end and that working to fix the diplomatic situation
was so stupid.
Was so dumb. It was so far fetched. Like, good Lord. And they were like talking about literally the type of bomb it was made of. You found this to create this effect. This hasn't been seen in many centuries or something. It's like, what? No, that is too convenient. Like that is crossing a line. The whole episode is dumb, and somehow that part was dumber.
Yep.
I don't know. All right.
And not as well plotted as Dumb and Dumber.
No, not as well plotted at all.
I reference that fucking movie like every week at least.
Yeah, Ashley over on MCU Cast, anytime she can't remember someone's name, she says, Samsonite. like every time. No matter what the name is.
My mom said something to me yesterday, and I just started laughing. She's like, "What?" I was like, "No, it reminds me of I can't remember what she said, but I remember it was from Dumb and Dumber where he puts all that stuff on Seabass's tab and they're driving down the road. He's like, that was sheer brilliance, Lloyd. Where'd you come up with a crazy scheme like that? He's like, oh, I saw it in this movie. He's like, and the movie, the guy got away with it scot-free. He's like, no, the guy caught up with him a half a mile down the road and slit his throat. It was a good one.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie. Last thing I have in my notes, and you've already talked about the plants, but I did particularly like the line because he's been asking everyone, "Are you seeing Jim Kirk right now? Are you doing this? Is that happening? Is this real?" Yeah. And he says, "Are you both plants right now?" Which is just like such a funny question to ask, like from his logical. Also, it's just too soon. We just had an episode that was horror. Where
they were
was having hallucinations and having to look through them, like having to use his logical mind. So I'm sitting here thinking about like, oh, it's him trying to use his logical mind to navigate this altered state. And I'm like, didn't we do this last week? Like what? But I still enjoyed Are You Plants right now.
Yeah. Now, I feel like if I was looking at the production, I might have wanted to add something. If we were actually doing the comedy and I was in charge of anything, I would be like, we should keep cutting back to them like stopping Spock and he's like in a mirror holding some scissors up to his ear.
Oh,
Like every time he hallucinates, he just wants to cut off his ears.
Ooh, yeah. I think that's not funny.
That is hilarious to me. But I wouldn't have done either of these episodes.
Yeah.
So there's also that.
Oh goodness. I mean, it's like just another episode. This is three weeks in a row with like no moral questions, no like debate of like what is right or wrong. Which is just like, I'm sorry, that is just like almost even some of the dumbest Star Trek episodes still have like a choice to make. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this just feels like procedural bullshit. That's like, well, we have to do the thing to get to the next thing and solve it's a mystery, which is its own kind of episode. But to me, that's not like the core of Star Trek. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got. Let's go to the feedback.
All right, so over on Discord, Silas Rodell, and this was just from my personal Discord. We don't have a Star Trek Universe Discord, but Silas Rodell asked me if I'd ever seen Event Horizon from I think 1997 with Sam Neill,
yeah,
and Lawrence Fishburne, and I said no, and he sent me the trailer. It is the plot of the last episode.
Yeah. It's very close. Totally.
Oh my God.
Totally.
I was like, that they really just remade that shit. And he goes, yep.
There are a number of movies that are similar, just like we were talking about this week, where it's The Hangover or Dude, Where's My Car? There are a number of those kinds of like, you go to I mean, we've seen a ton of Doctor Who episodes that are the same thing. You go to an abandoned place, there's spirits everywhere. But it's just like how you resolve that is the kind of show you are. You know, Doctor Who is going to resolve it in some like fantastical, interesting, timey-wimey way that's like whatever. It ends up being about empathy or whatever, you know? And Star Trek does it through like logic and like decision-making and morality and like, you know, it's just like, this isn't a show that is supposed to be like Event Horizon, where you're just trying to survive a crazy ghost outbreak. Like, what are we watching?
All right, so Sterling Gray writes in, and this is about last week's episode as well. And he says, this was a nice bottle episode, pretty creepy and suspenseful. I think we got some character development with Kirk and Spock, not as much with La'an. Yeah, they are moving her arc along, but I don't feel like it will amount to much. They left the mystery of what actually happened wide open, which I like. Hopefully they will come back to it. They won't. Sterling, you know, it'll be just like those damn bug aliens, those people. Remember the aliens that are in Conspiracy, the TNG episode?
Yeah.
And I'll never hear from them again. Anyway, I don't need answers to everything, but it kind of makes this an episode of just a bunch of stuff that happened. Division 12, a new show they are hopefully going to develop, or at least a comic maybe. It'll be a comic. I just want more Trek in the pipeline. Crockpot theory. It's a long one.
Ooh.
Since La'an is descending into darkness, quote unquote, see what I did there? She will go full evil and be the big bad for season 5. Hey, do something interesting.
That would be interesting for sure.
In her quest for galactic supremacy, she will attempt to kill Scotty, but his newfound love with Ortega's will compel her to sacrifice her life to save Scotty, and resulting in the loss of the middle finger on his right hand. Oh, God. The very same figure, he wore his wedding band because of a future tradition or something. He refuses to get it fixed in honor of Ortega's, thus successfully retconning Doohan's actual missing finger in TOS. Note, Doohan hid that very well. Yeah, he did. La'an will force M'Benga to betray Kirk and the crew, which will make Kirk relegate M'Benga to night shift doctor, doomed to never go on another away mission or be heard from. Kirk will be around just enough to take command of the Enterprise
in a meaningful way ever again.
Carol leaving him.
Everyone will
just
start
pretend
a lifelong
love
him.
affair with the Enterprise. Una will defeat La'an in an epic arena-style combat. Then she will go and command Division 12.
But
Pike will die saving the Enterprise, further bastardizing canon. Well, we've got to have Thomas Jane show up as Dr. McCoy, which is going to happen. We talked about that.
Yeah.
No. And for this episode, Sterling says, I liked this episode.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I mean, they're going to do something like
ultimately
a
didn't
lot of
amount
those
to
things,
much.
I feel
it
like.
resolved, I guess.
I think a lot of these
The
characters
long-running 2-episode arc of tension between Ortegas and Scotty.
I'm sure.
That's another thing that I wanted to say briefly was that. I
not recall. That's cool.
It fell flat for me for them to like resolve their issues because they've only had issues for like 2 episodes. Yeah. Yeah. And Sterling says it reminded us that La'an is still pissed about something. Beyond that, there wasn't much to it. Spock was pretty funny. Rebecca Romaine has a fantastic singing voice, and you think a stunt double can juggle exactly one bottle at a time.
You know what I mean? And yeah, just it doesn't feel earned. It feels manufactured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every time I thought it was going to shatter.
Well, that was the other thing. I mentioned that, but he points out a great thing that like,
yeah,
like when the stunt double does it, it's still the stunt double just catches the bottle. It still doesn't do it well.
It really did.
It's not. Yeah. Yeah, me too. It was like they threw the bottle and caught it, but not like in a way that I was like, oh wow. Like, and they still had to make it so obvious that it was another person, but then like still wasn't good at it. It's so crazy. It's like what in the world? What are you going for with that shot?
It looked like something out of an Austin Powers movie.
It did, but like an Austin Powers movie, I would know what the joke is supposed to be. Like the joke would be clear.
Well, I know the joke here too. It's very clear. The joke is Star Trek.
Yeah. Boo.
That's what it's become.
Boo.
Sterling says, "Why is Kirk here again?" I swear, for as many times as the Enterprise is the only ship in range, Kirk sure is always in range of the Enterprise. He's starting to act like a husband who's emotionally cheating on his wife. He's always hanging around the office and never seems to want to go home.
Yeah, they should just be like walking around corners and finding Kirk rubbing the cells or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Rubbing bulkheads. Like, one day, you will be mine.
Yeah. I mean, when you go to the original series and you listen to how much Kirk refers to the Enterprise as his woman.
Yeah.
And there's only one woman for me. It's the Enterprise. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. He and Scotty like sexualized the fuck out of that ship.
Yeah, for sure.
Sterling says, overall, this episode worked for me. At this point, with only a limited number of episodes left, I'm just sitting back and enjoying what they're giving us. That's also part of the problem, though. This season only has 10 episodes, and we still have that puppet episode coming up.
Oh, no. Damn it.
Yep.
Like, I was okay with a puppet episode when I saw the ad for it or whatever, the little, like, first look. And I was like, hey, yeah, I love a puppet episode. Sure, if this season's great and they do one puppet episode, why not? And, oh, gosh.
I do feel like Buffy and Angel broke TV.
A little bit.
Because Buffy did the musical episode, then every fucking show had to have a musical episode.
Well, it's like, you did, last season, I'm not sure if these were all last season, but they had those old scientists where they had time travel and it was the comedy episode. Then they did the musical episode, and then they did the freaking go back in time and pretend you're old Star Trek producers episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Those are 3 episodes that just those might have been 2 different seasons, but
it was 2 different seasons.
It's all just
like
too much.
Yeah,
it's too much when you're making 10 episodes a year. It's way too much.
Sterling says, if this were a 24 episode season like the old days, then sure, episodes like this are great for breaking up the monotony. Addendum to my crock pot theory from last time. I think they are setting La'an up to be to Spock as Khan Noonien Singh was to Kirk. My prediction is that Kurtzman is going to invert that dynamic and turn her into a series-long adversary. Well, we don't have that much of a series left. Yeah. I still think they're trying to make Kirk year 1 by stealth. with Lon evolving into the show's recurring antagonist. I mean, possibly, but I don't think, like, they're trying to set up another series and create demand. They're just very fucking bad at it.
Well, and talk about bastardizing canon. Like, we've been talking about how it's already weird that they all were on a ship with a Soong, and then they act like they have to learn what a Soong, who Khan is, like, later. And so, like, if they already deal with a Soong as, like, the bad guy of a whole season, I don't think that works. I think that's oof, that'd be rough.
Yeah, I mean, her character existing is rough for me, but
yeah,
you know, I'm a weirdo and respect the original stuff. Anyway, let's get to Stuart Little talking about this episode. Thank you, by the way, Sterling, and Silas Rodell. Thank you, to you as well for
thanks, guys,
writing over to me. And it doesn't feel like writing in when they message me on Discord or something.
No,
like, if it's an email, it's writing in.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's stupid. It's the same thing.
Well, I mean, if they're writing into, yeah, totally.
Yeah. There's a weird thing. Stuart Little. By the way, Stu will sometimes send us feedback on YouTube, and I don't think ever include it because I'm just like, what is this? I don't know. Like, it's like a correction or something.
Yeah, I tend to. I'm the same way with, like, MCU Cast. We always tell people, email us, mcucast@gmail.com. That's the email.
Yeah.
We have ours is StarTrekUcast@gmail.com.
StarTrekUcast@gmail.com. Yeah.
So if you send it in, we'll try to get to that feedback. Anywhere else, it's like, there's just too many places. There's just too many places I can't collect from We used to go, like, what's on Facebook? What's on this? What's on that? And, like, now it's just too many places.
But Stu messaged me on Facebook and said, this episode is not worthy of a funny title in my email. So, and to me, I'm like, well, that's basically it. You should have just written that as the subject.
Yeah.
Stu Little says, hello, okay, first things first. I hate explaining jokes, but I seemingly have to address the Anson Mount for A New Hope joke you guys didn't get. This was a callback to a mere week before, where I explained Anson Mount is the fourth person in his family with that name, and in fact, he has a half-brother who is Anson Mount III. I even warned David on Facebook I might start on an annoying new running gag based around this, which began with Anson Mount 4, the search for hair gel, as a search for Spock gag. Man, I don't remember this at all.
Oh, I do.
Stu.
I do. I didn't remember it until he mentioned it. That he has there. He's a 4. He's a fourth. I forgot.
Yeah, I do remember that part. Between this and Matt somehow forgetting Kelvin George Kirk's actor, I think you guys need to lay off the brain cell destroying moonshine, especially you, Dave. It's my mind too. Damn it, man. We're not sharing a body.
Yeah, man. Those chemicals affect Stu too. But you got to be cautious.
Why do you think I do them? Shape up. Shape up or I'll start erasing memories myself. And to show I'm serious, boom, you no longer have the memories of watching They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, the sequel to the Sidney Poitier classic In the Heat of the Night. What's that, Dave? You've never watched the sequel before? Exactly. Maybe I'm being too harsh, though, and I'll restore that memory. I'll think about it. Fun fact, that movie does have Martin Landau, though, who actually turned down the role of Spock, don't you know? I did know that. And, I want to get to They Call Me Mr. Tibbs and its sequel because, In the Heat of the Night is a masterpiece. And In the Heat of the Night, the show, which is a sequel to the first movie In the Heat of the Night, is a brilliant show that Jerry Taylor wrote for it on at least one season. Star Trek writer, creator, co-wrote.
I watched a few episodes recently with my mom, and I really it held up. It was good.
It's pretty good, yeah. But then They Call Me Mr. Tibbs is a very critically panned sequel that is not in canon with that. So it's like multiverses of In the Heat of the Night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Me and my wife and my sister went to the town in Georgia where they filmed the show.
That's
a few years
cool.
ago.
It's real cool.
Yeah, they've got like it's weird. They also shot the Vampire Diaries there, so it's like you go into like the Civic Center and it's like most of it is like for Vampire Diaries, and then there's like a room for In the Heat of the Night.
It's funny.
But all the sets look the same, so if you watch the Vampire Diaries, it just looks like they're in Sparta, Mississippi. If you know too much about it In the Heat of the Night,
That's awesome.
Nothing has changed.
That's great.
All right. Anyway, see, Stu, you unlocked some shit.
Yeah, but as much as you know about that universe, you'd think you would have seen Mr. Tibbs by now. How do you know you hadn't? Until
I know I haven't.
Yeah. So you think, but Stu to erase that memory. By the way, I'd like to pause just for a moment here in the middle of this feedback and say how bad this episode of Star Trek was that we are. I'm assuming at least halfway through this Stu email, maybe not. And it feels like we've talked about a lot of things and not the episode at all. This is a feedback about Stu's last week's feedback, not this episode.
So far. Yep. Well, look, I think maybe this is actually a response to me not like responding to his corrections.
Oh, on YouTube, yeah.
On YouTube, because he only comments to be like, no, that's not what I was saying. I was saying this. This was the joke.
Yeah.
And I just like thumbs up it like 4 weeks later when I see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Stu's reaction to Human Best Friend. Speaking of moonshine, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you guys didn't like this one based on the pre-titles. Okay.
The pre-titles.
That's a pretty good guess. I don't know what pre-titles are.
Man, and I'm sure he talked about it 2 weeks ago.
Probably. Explain it to us, Stu. The deposit is non-refundable, but they don't have money in the future. Oh, but Stu, you'll recall, they did have money in TOS times because Spock and Kirk to have a discussion at least where Kirk is like, do you know how much the Federation is invested in you? And Spock starts to say a number. So there's some kind of fucking currency.
There's some sort of currency. Also, when the Federation interacts with other cultures and other businesses, they do generally pay. It's like Quark's bar, like the Federation still needs units to go do whatever. So this would be a similar situation.
I do wonder if they are like basically paying lots of alien cultures with money that has been replicated. Are they just fucking up the economy of all these different cultures?
I was just thinking about that. Like, it's kind of like, it's sort of like Federal Reserve stuff where you have to you can't overinflate or whatever. Like, you have to keep your inflation at the right levels by not creating too much money. But it's interesting because they also create goods with the replicators. So, like, if you create goods and then you sell those goods, if you do it in any particular market, you could destroy that market by just like replicating too much of one thing, whatever. It's an interesting problem when you think about it, and it would take a lot of like the Federation being very careful with all the economies they touch to not until they join the Federation and get rid of money altogether. That you'd have to be very careful not to ruin every economy by just like inflating or deflating, I guess, because you could insert so many goods into an economy that like nothing's worth anything anymore. Yeah. I'm so glad that Lower Decks did an episode. It's so cool, some of the things they decided to do on there to address things that are never addressed. And there's that one episode where they bring someone to the Federation and they're like burning all their money or whatever. And the socialite class, like the upper class rich people, are mad about like the changing over to the Federation because they lose their status. I thought that was like really clever and like a good thing to address. And that's a show that's supposed to be like mostly fart jokes, and they did do better episode concepts.
Oh no, like, I don't. That's the thing. That's a good point because I disagree. It's a comedy show, and they do a better job of it because they know that comedy is not just fart jokes.
Sure,
like they know that there's comedy within like like the real world applications of all of these things. Whereas Strange New Worlds, I feel like, doesn't understand that.
Well, they also, above and beyond it being the comedy, they also like write Star Trek episodes. Like they write really good like moral dilemmas and things into the framework of the comedy episode. Not always, but enough that it's like, okay, yeah, they're actually doing Star Trek in a way that I don't think is happening here most weeks, and it's such a bummer.
Yeah.
Fucking puppet episodes coming. Yeah. That really brought me down. I was like, we had 2 episodes that were not jokes, but they weren't good. And now we had an episode that was all jokes, and we've got 7 episodes left. And I was like, all right, time to lock in. And like 1/7 of what we have left is puppets. Damn it.
Yeah. Pike should have done in the opening titles narration. Or sorry, Pike should have done the opening title narration in a drunken, slurred voice. Stu,
that could have been good. I want to jump back in about the puppet episode. Somebody better fucking die, and it better be tragic in that fucking puppet episode. That's the only way. Yeah. It's the only way through this for me. They need to and it better kill a really beloved character that we like a lot. Just kill him in puppet form and make me cry for that puppet. And then
like have the stuffing everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I would be like, well, that's because Star Trek doesn't show that gory stuff, but they did last week. So whatever.
I'm looking at you, Palia. You talk like you have a mouthful of stuffing already.
Palia is the one person that's not going to be a puppet. It's a whole. Everyone's true. A puppet, and Palia's like running around like she's on Sesame. She's like the one human on Sesame Street.
She's like, this reminds me of the time that I helped Angel fight some demon puppets. Yeah. It happened.
Oh,
asshole!
Man.
See, it turned out that the Earth was hell. Oh.
This is just like that show Smile Time.
I have a song I can sing. All right. Stu says, okay, this is the most contrived way to get Kirk into an episode yet. I agree. I'm pretty sure the Klingon rendition of Total Eclipse of the Heart features Rick and Morty as part of the lyrics.
Weird.
All right. I don't think I heard that, but I wouldn't put it past him. Scotty calling a shuttle sexy feels like a fun nod to the Kelvin verse. I mean, dude, come on. I'll defend this. Like Scotty, like I just said, he was in love with the Enterprise. Like he acted like he was gonna like. I mean, I feel like he had a glory hole in his fucking quarters.
Oh man,
just to fuck the Enterprise. And that's Prime Universe. Like he get his scotch on and go to town. Just you Bonnie lass. You know, yeah. I don't know what Scotty does.
Feels like a Family Guy version of Scotty you've created.
Yeah. Stu says they don't have a medical solution to the inebriation they could have used before meeting the delegation. They can regrow fingers, but not handle that. Evidently.
Yeah.
That slap by Kirk is going to be used as a GIF on so many Tumblrs. It will. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, I was on vacation. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Small Alpha Quadrant we have, huh? Yes, Stu.
Mm-hmm. Tiny Alpha Quadrant.
It gets smaller the worse the writing gets.
It really is maddening that they made him actually there, because like the whole reason it doesn't feel like it's making the universe smaller or it's whatever is if he isn't there and he's envisioning him. But like then at the end to be like, he was here the whole time. It's like, what are you doing? He can't be there every week. Why isn't he on the ship? Just bring him onto the ship as a crew member if you're going to do this every week.
Yep.
Also, I would much rather than just do like one really good Kirk and Spock focused episode and like really dig into their relationship and like who they are than like sprinkle it through the entire season like this, because it just makes them feel like they've been friends the whole time forever.
No, they gotta have a reason to make their buddy, who I think they worked with on, I think it was Vampire Diaries actually, because they've been thinking about how he should play Kirk the whole time. So like once they brought him on, they basically made him a regular.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that, but just bring him on then. Like I thought that was the plan. Wasn't that episode in like into season 2 when they do the timeline shenanigans? Didn't Pike decide to bring Kirk on or something like that? Like at the end of the season, I remember there's some sort of decision about like bringing Kirk onto the ship or like something.
Yeah. He wanted to talk to Kirk after that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I remember it being like a big thing where we were talking about them breaking the timeline even more, and like maybe deliberately, maybe that was the whole point. And I thought Kirk was coming to be on the ship, but instead they've just had done the worst case scenario where he's there every week and he doesn't work on the ship.
Yeah. I mean, in TOS, Kirk says he met Pike when he took over the Enterprise. He doesn't go into all this like, well, I was going back and forth and hanging out on the ship and trying to get down with some of the people on the ship. And it wasn't all that shit. So I don't know. Stu says, not a fan of this one. Too much forced, unfunny wackiness, too much stuff you just have to go with, like the idea that everyone would just accept being in a position where they know they're going to be intoxicated and have no other options. As someone who really tries to keep my own drinking at a moderate level on a night out, I'd really hate this situation if it were me. Awful drunk acting that always rings as fake. Very little I actually found amusing. Maybe Pike tattooing his speech on his fingers because that was at least somewhat original. It's weirdly placed in the season 2, coming right after all the messed up darkness of the horror one, which makes it weird, where it takes some of the characters from that. If the best you can do for La'an is this, including the fact there's no denouement for her subplot, then maybe she should have been left on the ship, and the Kirk of it all is incredibly forced. I can't even say, well, at least we got the comedy episode done early because we still have the puppet one. At minimum this season. Though I can't imagine that being worse. Biggest compliment I can give it, at least this wasn't used as a way to do a Scotty Ortega's romance. I was afraid of that.
Yeah.
And my fear that they had covered up sleeping together didn't come true.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. And the moment I knew they were going to get drunk and be friends, like that was the whole thing. They're going down to this inebriation planet. I knew they were going to get drunk and be friends. And I was like, please don't make this a love story. And when he woke up in that freaking suit, what are those creatures called?
Mugato.
Thank you. Just like from Zoolander.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, when he woke up in the Mugatu suit, I was like, they didn't have sex. Like I was like, bullet dodge. They're not going to make it a romance. They're just going to be friends. And I was happier about that. So that is a good point, Stu. That is a thing that I would like. By the way, talking about too many references, I'm pretty sure that there was a Mugatu on his favorite shirt.
I didn't see that.
There was a very similar creature. Does it have a horn on its head?
Yeah.
It was a Mugatu. So talking about the logic of the episode and how like it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So Scotty has his favorite shirt that has a Mugatu on it. And then he goes to a party and they have loner costumes and he dresses up as a Mugatu. It just seems too like deliberate or something. Mm-hmm. Like it seems like if he's going to dress up as a Mugatu, that'd be on purpose, not a loner costume if he has it on his favorite shirt. I don't know. That was a weird one. I mean, obviously if it's available, he would choose that, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just annoyed me.
Since you asked, though, I will point out, and I did confirm it just now, Ben Stiller's a huge Star Trek fan, and he did name that character. And
I think Mugatu even has like a horn thing on his head for part of the his hair sticks up. Not a horn. White. It's like a white horn, like white hair stack that goes up.
Yeah, it was fashioned after the creature a bit.
Yeah, that's really funny. Very, very funny.
Mm-hmm. Stu says, P.S. At what point is Scotty going... Oh, God. At what point is Scotty going to become a rough and tumble man's man who can hold his own against a bar full of Klingons off screen like he did in The Trouble with Tribbles? And not to mention when he kind of goes John McClane for a minute in The Final Frontier. Well, before he knocks his head into the fucking bar at the hallway. I know this ship like the back of my hand. Boom!
Yeah.
Speaking of not landing the comedy very well.
Yeah.
Star Trek V, man. Not as bad as people say, but also like they were pushing real hard to be like, see, 4 was funny and we can be funny in this one. Oh, it fell flat.
Yeah. The rough and tumble stuff is like, I want that. That'd be cool. And it's frustrating because when we got him being on that Gorn planet, it seemed like he was really hardened and he was like going to be a cool, like he's still young and still had room to grow into who he was going to be. But like, yeah, he has not lived up to who we thought he would be, I think.
Yeah. And Scotty in the original series he doesn't do like a ton of stuff like that because he's, the engineer, but he seems like he has the countenance of a man who fought at Normandy because he was.
Yeah.
Like he just has that like haggard but stern, steely-eyed presence.
Yeah.
So, I thought that's what they were doing when they first started with him, and they just turned everything into a fucking joke on this show. I don't get it. I don't get why that's what they think. That's what Star Trek fans want.
Yeah, it's just kind of cheap fuel for the show. It's what you said. Buffy and Angel kind of ruined television or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of true, and I think like it's just like what we talked about earlier with like it's funny when Data's funny because he's not funny. Like he always has a joke almost every episode, but like when he's like extra silly, it's like, oh, that's not what Data's like, But you have to establish that baseline. Buffy's the same way. Buffy has comedy throughout, but like the extra silly episodes, like I don't know, the Halloween episodes are always extra silly. The puppet episode, clearly, like things like that aren't every episode, and like the tone of this show feels more like that so much of the time, and then this week obviously more so.
Well, it's not totally Buffy either. It's like, though it may be Whedon related, it is the marvelization of everything. Everything's got to have like just joke after joke after joke after joke.
Yeah.
And it's madness. It's madness to me.
Yeah, me too.
The constant jokes, and then, now everything's being shot so that it can go on an iPhone with minimal editing, so you can't have as many cinematic shots anymore because it all has to look like it's a fit inside of a vertical fucking... It's just bad.
Yeah.
I'm getting bummed out.
Yeah, this is bumming me out. We gotta get out of here. Let's not talk about other things for an hour this time.
Oh.
Write in if you just want to hear us talk about other things for an hour every week. We could probably pull it off. I just sent you a picture of him in the Zoom meeting. I sent you a picture of him in his shirt, and you can see the creature on his left breast or whatever.
Oh,
like
I definitely see what appears to be a Starfleet member on a beach with his sleeves. Yeah, totally. It's a surfing Mugatu.
Yeah, it's a surfing Mugatu. I didn't notice it was surfing. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he's surfing, and then there's like a Kirk-looking figure on the beach laying down.
Yeah, totally.
With his sleeves torn.
Totally.
All right. Well, shit. Yeah, I just
so two Mugatu references in one episode.
My God.
There's just not that many creatures in the universe to reference. It's kind of a small place.
They called him a Mugatu because he was the character. That being was called a Gumato in the script, and DeForest Kelley could not fucking say it. He kept saying Mugato or Mugatu.
That's funny.
And they just rewrote it. It's just like, okay, everybody call it. So like none of them actually pronounced it correctly.
That's funny.
Through the entire episode.
That's great. I love it. All right. Well, good hanging out, Dave. Good talking to you.
Yeah. Likewise.
Well, we'll be back soon, guys, right here on Star Trek Universe. to probably bitch about more episodes of Strange New Worlds. I'm hoping not. I really, like, as bitchy as we seem, I'm always wanting to turn the show on and be, like, pleasantly surprised at how wonderful an episode is. So please bring that to me, Strange New Worlds. Please. I'm begging you.
That's what they want. They want you to beg.
Yeah.
Like a dog.
Yeah, I am. Like a dog with a horn on its head.
And that is the true enemy within.
That's right. Jolan True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.